Hi there, and thanks for tuning in for another episode of Inside F&M Wrestling. I'm Brad Weltmer here for GoDiplomats.com, joined by head wrestling coach Mike Rogers and special guest 133-pounder Scott Stevens. Guys, thanks a lot for sitting down here with us. Appreciate it.
No problem.
So let's jump right into things, talking about the first home match of the season that was on last Friday against Bucknell. It was a good home crowd. You celebrated Alumni Night. I'm sure the result didn't exactly go the way you wanted it to, but there was a lot of close decisions in there, and guys really wrestled hard. So just kind of recap that for us.
Yeah, I mean, we knew Bucknell was going to be a tough opponent. I mean, they're a solid squad, just like any other team in our conference. What we're looking for is just having good performances, solid performances, guys scoring points late in the matches, and wrestling tough through all positions, and that's really what we're looking for. I think we did that for the most part. For most of our guys, there's some other guys that we need to kind of tweak and change some things, but it's still early. We're at 3 weeks into a 6-month season, type of thing. So ultimately, what we're looking for is just guys battling through the whole 7 minutes, and looking at individually certain goals, getting off the bottom, scoring late in matches. The big thing that killed us, I think, we were giving up points late in the period. I think a lot of the matches, we wrestled 1 minute and 55 seconds each period. So the last 5 seconds, we gave up a takedown or a reversal or an escape. And those are things that kind of kill you because you don't have enough time to recover from that. So, that's good information to kind of build on and work on. So, going forward, working on, finish out the periods, wrestling through the whole periods. We have moments where we're kind of relaxing and giving up scores on the edge of the matches and things like that. But overall, I think our guys battled, throughout the whole 7 minutes. We just got to stay focused the whole time. I think we're having moments where we're relaxing and giving up points late, and that's kind of that hurt us a lot in the match.
And then on Saturday, you sent a few guys out to Ursinus to compete at the Fall Brawl. Some of your freshmen had some really good performances out there. David Brennan took third at 157. Corey Kirkessner, he reached the third place match at 197. So just talk about what you saw from your guys out there.
That was good. Yeah, it was a busy week now. Friday we had Bucknell, and Saturday we went. We had Coach Childs and Coach Borgia took the rest of the guys, a group of guys, out to the Ursinus Fall Brawl, and it was good for those younger guys to get a lot of matches in. It was good to see our younger guys, like the two guys you mentioned, David and Corey, getting deep into the tournament and placing. That's tough to do at any level. So for them to win some college matches, get a little bit of confidence, get a lot of the experience. Some of the other guys, it was their first college experience, in their college career. So it was good for those guys to go out there and wrestle and compete. And, it gives us some information on what to work on with those guys going forward. But I think overall they performed really well out there at Ursinus.
And then Scott, Sunday, Diplomats were at VMI. You were in a 3-0 decision. All your points were picked up in the third. So just kind of walk us through that matchup on Sunday.
Yeah, I just went out there and stuck to my guns and just kind of felt the guy out in the first period. Realized there's a little lankier, so a little more difficult to score on for me. So I just kind of kept the first period close, and then he chose neutral in the second. Same thing on our feet. Tried different shots, got close, but never could finish. Then the third, I knew pretty confident on bottom, so I could get out. Got out, got the one, and then just kind of knew that I didn't have the match, but I was confident and defending shots and scored late. He was just getting a little desperate to try to win, so got on top in the last 10 seconds. So.
And then how do you feel about where you're at so far in the season?
In the season, feeling good, feeling confident, better than the past couple seasons for sure. Still a long way to go, a little more work to put in, a lot more work to put in. But right now, earning close losses, but I can close that gap with the last 3 months ago.
You come from a wrestling family. Your dad wrestled, your uncles, your cousins. So, what age did you pick up the sport? And, was wrestling at a D1 program in college always kind of a goal of yours?
At first, I started wrestling, I think, 4 years old, kindergarten, 4 or 5. Just because all my cousins did it and I was in the program. And then it wasn't really until high school that I decided to focus on it as a main sport. and kind of had aspirations to wrestle in college and whether D1 or D3, but luckily it's D1 and competing well now. So,
What attracted you to the program here at F&M?
Small school I liked, came from a boarding school, so I kind of liked that feel, and then mainly kind of Coach Rogers and his aspirations that he had for the program. It's kind of cool to be a proud tradition and new beginning. I want to be part of that new beginning.
Yeah, and then you've had some unique experiences here. Summer of 2014, you traveled to Glasgow, Scotland with a few of your teammates. You met assistant coach Mike Childs over there. You did 9 days of training, one of Europe's elite MMA gyms, the Grip House. So just talk about that training. How did that develop you as a wrestler, and how did that develop you as a person?
The training was kind of intense. It was different, Muay Thai, boxing, or jiu-jitsu. Didn't translate a whole lot to wrestling, but the ability to learn new technique, practice it, and kind of persevere through the lumps, that translates to wrestling. And just the people we met there were awesome. New culture and everything. It was just a really good experience with some of my closest teammates and Childs. Hiking the mountain was probably the toughest obstacle that I had to overcome there, just because it was hot and long. Even though Aaron didn't make it all the way up the mountain, we got up there and it was a good time.
That was Ben Lamond. You guys climbed 3,000-foot mountain in the Scottish Highlands. Have you ever done anything like that before?
Not before that. Since then, I've climbed a few mountains, but it's a different alternative kind of training, almost hard workout and enjoyable at the same time. So
great. And then Mike, this Sunday you send a split squad. You have the Keystone Classic hosted by Penn, and then you have the Matttown Open hosted by Lock Haven. So just talk about how your coaching staff's deciding who's going where.
Actually, we'll send all the coaches to the Keystone just because it's a team. It's a team tournament. It's individuals, but we need all our coaches in the corners. And the guys going to Lock Haven will. Aaron Moldoff is kind of taking a coach's role right now. He's dealing with some staph infection in his knee. He's recovering over that. He was kind of like our student coach last year. So those guys, some of them will be wrestling unattached, like Rob King and Paul Alsagrini, and the rest of the guys will be wrestling under F&M. But we can only put so many guys at the Keystone. We're limited number-wise. So the guys that we think can benefit more from the Lock Haven tournament and get, again, right now our goal is to get mat time for all our guys. So, if they can't get into Keystone, then we're sending them to the Lock Haven Open, and a lot of those guys are going to get a lot of mat time there. So, but I got to give my coaching staff a lot of credit. Steve Borgia and Mike Childs and Andrew Alton, splitting our staff and having to take guys here and there. It takes a lot of coordination, a lot of energy in terms of trying to coordinate all that stuff. Mike Child does a great job of staying on top of all that things. So, but at the end of the day, it's the best thing for these guys. And we said this time and time again, the best classroom is competition. So if we can get them to Lock Haven and wrestle some matches there, we'll do that. If it's Ursinus, if it's East Stroudsburg, whatever it is, we'll try to get them there with a coach ideally. If not, we'll support them through getting our upperclassmen to kind of be substitute coaches for us.
Great, and then the following Sunday, November 29th, you guys are going to compete in the Grapple in the Garden tournament. That's in Madison Square Garden. You're going against Oswego State and your second Big Ten opponent of the year of Northwestern. So just talk about the importance of your team competing in an environment like Madison Square Garden. I mean, it's going to be the site of this year's NCAA tournament, and just talk about the importance going against some of that top competition like Northwestern.
Yeah, like I said, it's if we can get it, it was a great opportunity to be able to wrestle in that arena. How often do you get to wrestle in Madison Square Garden? So the hope is to getting some guys out to the NCAA tournament, and they've been in that that arena before. So that was one of our motivations to do it. And two, the guys that may not make it to the NCAA tournament get that opportunity to wrestle there in that venue against some great competition. So it's something a little bit different, something we haven't done in years past. And I'd like to kind of mix it up because it gives our guys a different venue, a different place to wrestle, and the more you expose them to different environments, they become a little bit more able to adjust to whatever arena you're in. So, and then wrestling, the two teams are wrestling. It's going to be a good environment. Oswego State, a team we don't really know much about. That's our first match, and then going up against Northwestern, which obviously is a Big Ten, very strong team. Number of ranked guys there, so it's going to be a challenge. But again, that's the level of guys that we need to see that are going to. We need to feel and see that tempo, that style of wrestling, if we're going to make any progress. That whether we take our lumps and the wins and losses, that are going to be wins and losses. But again, the hope and the goal is that the experience that they take away is going to help them down the road. So that's our main goal. And we get to be in New York City, and hopefully there's some alumni out there that are in and around New York City. I would love to come out and watch us wrestle. We don't really get out that way too often, so it might give some of our alumni and fans out there a chance to see us compete, where maybe otherwise they wouldn't be able to get out there to see us.
Great. Well, guys, good luck moving forward here. And Scott, thanks for sitting down here with us. Mike, thanks as always for joining us. We'll be off next week for Thanksgiving break, but be sure to join us the first week of December when we come back and recap the Grapple in the Garden.